Yo, 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 what is good? What is good, y'all? What is good? It is now 12:03 New York Eastern Standard Time, and we are back on the channel. Like and subscribe, Mel Mags Universe. And today I wanted to briefly talk about two things. A couple of topics, a couple of gems that I hope if you're an artist watching this video, you can take some knowledge from and potentially implement it into your own social media strategy. Um, and what I wanted to talk about was how I got my first 10,000 followers on TikTok and how I got my first 10,000 followers on Instagram. No bullshit, no bots, no fucking I'm commenting on everyone's motherfucking post to try to see if they're gonna follow me back and they're gonna look through my shit. None of that bullshit that I've heard for fucking years. This is a legitimate way to gain followers or traction. But here's the caveat. You can gain traction this way, you can build an audience this way. Does not mean that your music is gonna be played this way. Just putting that disclaimer out there. However, if you're smart about it and you build the proper pipeline, you can funnel the traction that you get into the music. And I'm gonna get into that briefly. Now, let's start with TikTok. So, the way that I got my first 10,000 followers off of TikTok was not by posting my song every fucking day, was not by collaborating or running fucking paid ads and shit. It was all just by simply giving information. I saw this video one day by this content social media artist strategist called Promo God, and one of the ways he had mentioned was to educate people, and that is actually a fast way to garner an audience. So I took that to heart. I had maybe about 1,000 followers, maybe 1,100 followers at TikTok at the time. So I said, why the fuck not? So I started approaching it from the angle of someone who I started approaching it from the angle of someone who obviously has not accomplished really anything in the grand scheme of things in terms of this music game, but someone who just knows a little bit more of the in and outs than a person just getting into it will. And I took that and I fleshed it out. And what I did was pretty much make over 100 videos of just little pieces of information that young artists or new artists might not be privy to. How to better your bars, how to conduct yourself when you're networking, how to network, how to book a show. A lot of the things that these new artists, or if you're a new artist, it's a little bit more it's not as easy to find some of this information, especially with all the fucking bullshit that's out there. So I know the first video that really popped off for me was how to write a punchline, right? And the method that I used to use, also known as the Dave Chappelle method, is to kind of write backwards. Have the punchline written, and then from there, you work around the ending of that punchline. So if you're gonna say, my head is bald like a fist or whatever the fuck, that's horrible. That's a fucking horrible bar. But if you're trying to end it off in some really impactful simile, you're gonna work around that, and you're gonna have that simile written, and you're gonna work around that, and you're gonna lead them to that simile. That video blew the fuck up. I articulated that point a lot better than I did just now, but that video blew the fuck up. I think I hit maybe like 500,000 on that shit, and it went really well. Got me like about 2,000 followers, and it also made me realize, yo, there is something to this shit. There is something to really dropping education in your content as an artist. So what I did, I ended up doubling down on it. A lot of my content became education for new artists or people who just want to better their writing, better their bars. I'm confident as fuck in my writing skills, simply put. So I feel like I can give you some gems, or I can at least help you be confident in your writing skills and what I deem a good writer to be. And I would get DMs all the time. Oh, thank you so much. I have writer's block, ways to get out of writer's block is one of the things that I would often make videos about, things of that nature. And it was getting me an audience. And one of the things that I tried to do when I started getting a following was funnel them into the music. Do more TikTok duets, drop more freestyles, do shit that can remind people, yeah, I'm giving y'all information, but here's the music over here. Fuck with the music, fuck with the music, fuck with the music. And it worked to a degree. It definitely worked. It definitely worked to a degree. Because you got to remember, a lot of the times, some of your first fans are gonna be other artists, because no one loves music as much as the artist sometimes. So a lot of the times, your first few fans are gonna legitimately be other artists. So I had that working for me, and it became a way for me to work with brands. I had eventually got to 10K. Brands started reaching out to me. I know there's one brand in particular called Rap Fame, which was a pretty much an app in which you could record in. It was a home studio app, and you could fucking make a whole entire song in that bitch. And pretty much they reached out to me, was like, hey, we want you to write a script for us. Send us the script, send us the video, X amount of dollars. Boom, got my first little bag off TikTok. It's up. It's up. I'm making money off this shit now. Not in the most conventional way, but I'm making money off this shit now. And again, as I said in my last video, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, about quitting music, or if there's an age limit on music. There is another way. This is another way to earn bread. Granted, it's a little different. This happened maybe about 2-3 years ago. It's a little different now, but the concept still exists. It still exists. Educate people. Educating people is a way to garner fans, a way to build an audience. I should say to build an audience, not garner fans. Well, fans around your concept, but not fans to the music. And that's the caveat. Is that you're gonna have a lot of people that don't give a fuck about the music. They don't give a shit. You just put me on to valuable information to better my bars. I can give two fucks about what music you just dropped. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. What I did, I tried to monetize some of the attention that I was getting. I had created an agenda planner for artists. I did things that would try to at least earn me some income. Granted, it worked for a little bit, but eventually, the posting started slowing up. I wanted to take things into a different direction. Personal things started happening, and the hype kind of died down. Keeping it a stack. You know what I mean? It kind of died down a little bit. However, I did get enough followers. Like right now, my TikTok is at 13K. At 13K, still in the creators program, so it still left me with a platform that has some type of reach, which I'm grateful for. Now that's TikTok. Now let's look over at Instagram. Now with Instagram was very different. And I'm gonna tell you why. When I was blowing up on TikTok with all this educational content, I would repurpose a lot of this content and post it on Instagram. And what would happen? Fucking nothing. My videos would never do nowhere near the numbers that they did on TikTok. Wasn't even coming close. And I don't know if this speaks to Instagram's algorithm. Actually, it probably does speak to the fucking algorithm at the time, and I'm gonna get to it. Because once things started slowing down on TikTok for me, I started reposting a lot of older videos again, and then my Instagram started picking up traction, started blowing up with the same fucking videos I posted on TikTok. The same shit. The same exact shit. How to get out of writer's block. The different ways to write a song. How to write a melody. Started blowing up on Instagram. And the blow up was fucking quick as hell. I went from about 1,600 followers to about 9,500 in almost a month off of a couple of videos. One of those videos being the how to write a punchline video, in which I posted 4 times prior on Instagram before the 5th one actually took off. Because you know why? And again, educational content is always going to be paramount to garner fans and audience. It just is. It just is. People are so much more likely to follow you if you put them on to something as opposed to a rapper who just spit a 16 or as opposed to a shorty who's shaking her ass. We see that shit all the time. But when you put someone onto something, when you put someone onto valuable information, they are way more likely to follow you. And that's just a fact. It's just a fact. Think about it. If someone puts you onto some information you're not privy to, a motherfucker tells you how to make fire, you're going to want to follow that motherfucker. How the fuck you did that shit, bro? How did you make fire right now? So my point is that if you're struggling on social media, you're struggling with your content, You're feeling very down. You're feeling like you're going nowhere. Educational content is a low key, or maybe it's a high key now. It's a high key trick to get popping on social media. You don't gotta fucking act out of character. You don't gotta do anything that is embarrassing. You don't have to do anything where you really have to second guess if this is how people want to perceive you. No, all you're doing is just sharing your experience in a very teachable format, and people will gravitate to it. And that's a fact. Now, again, this might not be the most conventional way for artists. I remember I broke this idea down when people would ask me about it. I've had other artists hit me up. Oh, Mel, but your streams. I mean, yeah, look, yeah, you're not gonna get a huge uptick in streams unless within all this content, unless within all the educational content, in which I do suggest this, to go and incorporate freestyle videos, your own music, and then one of those really pop off. That's the only time. But the idea, or at least the concept that I'm talking about, it works when you have a plan and when you have a pipeline that you're trying to build. To funnel all the people that want to hear the educational shit. But here's the thing, you can also use the educational shit to highlight your personality and highlight other reasons why people should follow you, and use the music as another space where people can gravitate towards you. Granted, I'm very much aware the market has been saturated. It has, that's a fact. It's been saturated. There's a lot of educational content out there. But if you niche down and you give genuine content, you're giving people genuine information about what they can do to actually propel or move forward or get better, I promise you, your following count will go up. I can't promise you that it'll translate to streams. I can't promise you it's going to translate to fame. But if you incorporate more educational content, I promise you without a shadow of a doubt, you will get more followers on both platforms. YouTube, I'm not sure about. I'm finding out right now. I'll let y'all know on YouTube. Now, with that being said, guys, that's it for the night. I hope you got some gems off of this. Remember, if you want to just gain more followers, I'm not promising it'll translate to streams. I'm not promising it'll translate to money. It can translate to money if you're smart about it, if you know how to monetize. And understand that once you gain attention and people are really fucking with the information you're giving them, and they genuinely enjoy that information, they're more than likely to pay for it after you keep giving it to them, and then you give it to them in a way where they know they're going to get a lot more value. That's just business 101 outside of music shit. But anyway, guys, Mel Mags, if you found this video useful, if you found it even entertaining, or if you got something out of it, please like and subscribe. This is a baby channel. I'm 211 subscribers. I think 212 actually. I gained 1 subscriber last night off of my last video, so I'm hype about that 1 subscriber. What up, bruh? And like and subscribe, please. It really helps me out, helps out the channel, helps us out, because we're really gonna build a community that's extremely special here. And what I'm doing is fucking dope as hell. With that being said, stay up, stay blessed, more bread, more life. Have a good one.